Welcome back. You may recognize our next guest from her days with our News 4 team, but now she's an accomplished author, and she's coming out with a brand new book all about remaining true to yourself while still fitting in. We're joined on the couch right now by Lisa Scott. Your new book is called School of Charm, and it's for that 8 to 12 age range for young girls and their moms to read together, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely a children's novel. And the interesting thing is, I actually wrote this book on my lunch breaks when I still worked at the station.
I love that you cleared that up right off the bat, because I think a lot of people may wonder, when did you get into writing books and how did you take that transition period? And tell us about the book.
Well, you know, I've always wanted to write a book. I knew when I was 7 in second grade and I got my first creative writing assignment. I was like, oh, I can make this story up myself. And so I've always enjoyed writing and telling stories. And I think that's kind of why I love being in news, too, because you got to meet people and tell their stories. But now I'm making them up instead of, you know, sticking to the facts.
So the story here, what is the story of this book?
This story is actually set in 1977.
Okay.
And it's about a tomboy girl who's her daddy's girl, and her father passes away. And so now she doesn't know how she fits in her family. There's 2 sisters and a mother. They're all into beauty pageants. They have to go live with their grandma who lives down south. And she doesn't know how she fits in now because she'd rather be playing in the mud than putting on makeup. So she's out exploring, and she finds this magical school of charm where she decides to secretly join the pageant to show her sisters and mother that, you know, I'm part of the family too. But the lessons she learns at this unusual school aren't what she expected.
It really does sound like the plot of a great children's movie. Where did you get the idea to write this? What were you inspired by?
A dream, believe it or not. I woke up from a dream, and I had this image of this older, knowing woman in a clearing in the woods with some girls around her. And when you're a writer and you see something, you can't stop thinking about it. Most people be like, ah, weird dream.
It sticks with you. It
It
stays in your
does,
head.
until you figure out, who are they? Why are they there? How did they get there? So it took a while to develop and write. And obviously, I wrote this in 2007.
I was going to say, how long did it take you? What was the process like for actually sitting down and putting pen to paper? Or
it took about a
keyboard?
year. And then you have to send letters to agents, called the query process. So that took about another year, and that's just, for a while it stalled out, and I set the book aside for a couple of years, and then I picked it back up, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And my friend's like, why don't you send it out again? So I sent it to one more agent, and then I thought, I'm done with this. But she loved it.
And it's published by HarperCollins.
By HarperCollins.
Then they did the illustrations as
Yes.
well. They're great. You're going to be having a book signing on Saturday at the Niagara Falls Boulevard location of Barnes & Noble, right?
That's right. At noon, I'll be doing a little talk about the book and question and answer, and sign the book if you'd like to get an autographed copy.
And you've written a couple romance novels before, but this is for a younger age group.
Right. Romance and children's books. Unusual combination. But yeah, I have a bunch of romances on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com.
Which do you like better?
That's a tough one. You know, I like both of them because I can remember being this age. It's such a transformative age when you're going from a child to an adult. So I love being back at that, you know, special age. But romance is fun too because it reminds you about falling in love. So
were you the tomboy or the pageant girl when you were growing up?
I was more of a tomboy, and there is a little bit of me in this character. I used to catch turtles and run around in the woods. But
you could win a trophy for that, maybe.
Maybe.
All right, Lisa Scott, our author. It's always nice to catch up. School of Charm, you're going to be signing the book at Barnes & Noble, and you can get the book there as well, too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's also online, different stores.
All right, that sounds great. Thanks so much for coming and sharing the latest story with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right.